Hello, I'm Jordan and you're not. And I have finally finished the entire Dark Shadows series. That's right, all 1,225 episodes. I started watching on July 20th, 2012, and I finished June 23rd, 2013. That's really an accomplishment for me. I never thought I would watch the whole series all the way through, but yay, I did it! So, to the best of my ability, I'm going to try to review this big old monster of a series. This is going to take a while. Luckily, I had this book to help me throughout the whole majority of the series. Now, in May of 2012, I saw the Dark Shadows movie. I loved it, and I saw it twice. And I really wanted to watch the whole series, but this set was like $400, and I didn't have that kind of money because I was poor. Yeah. So later in the month of May, I was in a fender bender at Walmart, and I figured, hey, I could use this money to buy the Dark Shadows coffin set. But that didn't work out too well. So in July, I started buying the collections individually. And I soon realized that, it would probably take at least another $300 to keep buying the whole series. So I came into some money in November of 2012. And I thought, hey, why don't I just buy this whole coffin set now, and I can sell my collections to help pay for this. So I did. So let's start from the very beginning. Episode 1. You had Victoria Winters, which was, in the very beginning, it was very gothic, very dark and mysterious and suspenseful, and I don't know, it just seemed like it was, it got, and from episodes 210 to 1,225, it became all about vampires and zombies and werewolves and parallel times and dream curses and witches and witchcraft, and I don't know, it really changed. It really, like the Fast and the Furious movies, they started off like one way and then they turned another way. So in the beginning, you have Burke Devlin. Burke Devlin was one of my favorite characters in the beginning episodes, and he's after Roger Collins because there was a manslaughter case that Burke Devlin was charged with 10 years prior, which he didn't do, but so he's going to make Roger Collins pay for that. And that takes about 200 episodes to finally get rid of or do away with, because Burke Devlin's revenge really wasn't all that great in the end. He just wanted Roger to admit what he did and admit that he was the one driving the car that killed the person that Burke was accused of killing, and then he lets it go. He literally he just admit it, and then Roger says it all. He says, okay, bye. I don't know. But yeah, and also Victoria Winters, she comes from New York to be a governess for David Collins, and I hated David at the very beginning of the series. If you saw my beginning collection 1 review back in July 25th, I think is when I did that. But as the series progressed, he got a lot more calmer and a lot more tolerable. Also, you have Maggie Evans, who works at the Collinsport Inn, the diner there. She serves stale donuts and bland coffee to Burke Devlin and all the other residents of Collinsport. Also, you have the Blue Whale, which is this little bar that plays the same 2 songs over and over again. It's like da 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 da, and it's just the same loop over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. The song never changes. There's no hip rap song or no nothing. It's just da 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 da. It never ends. And the bartender, Andy, I think was his name, he never says a word the whole series. I think maybe he said one sentence in his whole career of the show. All he does is just, yeah. He just, like, nods and kind of smirks and gives people beers and everything. Then there's Carolyn Stoddard. In the beginning, Carolyn was just, she's such a drama queen. Like, if in today's time, they could give Carolyn her own reality TV show, where all she does is complain about random crap. And she has, her boyfriend, Joe Haskell, and she was, with him, and all of a sudden she becomes infatuated with Burke Devlin, just out of nowhere. I mean, Burke Devlin, he is pretty cool. He's a cool character. I mean, he's suave, and I guess he's charming. He's kind of sadistic or something, but, I mean, all of a sudden she just becomes totally infatuated with him. She just, I don't know. So, let's see, what else is there? Roger Collins is always drinking brandy, or always he's always getting drunk or whatever. And then there's Elizabeth Collins Stoddard. She's like the matriarch of the 1960s, 70s, Collins family, and she's hiding something that she did 20 years or 18 years ago, or something she thinks she did, but it never really happened. Which it takes 900 episodes to find out later that Paul Stoddard is still alive. Well, actually, it only took about 200 episodes. You find out that he's still alive 200 episodes later, but then you see him in, like, the 900 episode range. We'll get to that later. Alright. So, yeah, there's that manslaughter case with Burke Devlin and Roger, and then you get Bill Malloy. Bill Malloy is, like, the manager of the Collins Fishing Company, who kind of knows about Burke Devlin's, incident. And then, there's Sam Evans. Sam Evans is the father to Maggie Evans, who was also kind of in on the manslaughter case, and who knows about it, who's always drinking. Also, he's a painter. He paints pictures and junk. And so Bill Malloy wants to meet up with Roger and Burke and Sam, all in the company, who's gonna kind of tell him, kind of give a secret, tell what happened. But then all of a sudden, he's murdered. So that takes about 40 episodes to find out who killed him. And then there's a big drama about a fountain pen. This pen. Who put it there? Who's been in my room? Let's take 30 episodes and go into great detail about this pen. No, don't do that. Then you finally find out that, spoilers, you finally find out that it's the caretaker, Matthew Morgan, who killed Bill Malloy. I've done this before, haven't I? I reviewed, like, beginning collections 2, 3, and 4, so this is all, I'm just, deja vu, and I'm just gonna be reviewing Dark Shadows for the rest of my life. It's the same episodes over and over again. Okay, so when eventually Victoria finds out that, I think it was Matthew that killed Bill Malloy, he kidnaps her and takes her to the old house. There's a secret room behind a library, all these books in the living room, or she's stuck there for at least 10 episodes, I think. And then David finally finds her, and he doesn't tell anyone. From what I remember, he just kind of keeps it to himself, and he tries to struggle with whether he wants to save Vicky or not, or whether he wants to let Matthew Morgan get away with it. Who the crap does that? David Collins, you suck. You're not cool. So eventually Vicky gets free, and Matthew Morgan is basically scared to death by Josette, the ghost of Josette, and the ghost of Bill Malloy, who, he dies. He did. I say he did. Then we go on to another storyline about a phoenix, which basically brought the show back from cancellation, which that's what I've heard. Because of this storyline, Barnabas Collins would come into existence. So David's mother, Laura Collins, is a phoenix who can die and who bursts into flames and is reborn through the ashes every 100 years or so. And I just really didn't like her storyline too well. It just kind of dragged on. Just like she was always telling the story or singing some kind of little thing about the phoenix and just about how it can be reborn. It got old really fast. And she wanted to take David away with her to Phoenix, Arizona. That's silly. And in the end, which, Vicky tries to, save David from being burned alive in the shack, which is, that Laura took him. And it was a real fire. Then it's just a low budget show. How it looked like anyone could have been hurt, really, really badly. But luckily, it didn't look like no one was. So Laura gets burned, and then that's the end of. We see her until about 700 or 800 episodes later, thereabouts. Then you get Jason McGuire and Willie Loomis coming in. I hated Jason McGuire. I just didn't like him. He had like a cocky Irish accent, and he was always blackmailing Elizabeth just to try to marry him. I'm going through this really quickly, and I mean there's over 1,000 episodes, and it's going to be hard to go into detail about every single little thing. Also, while I'm thinking about it, there are some lawyers named Frank Garner that Vicky was going to try to date once, but that didn't work out. And there was some doctor named Peter Guthrie that was trying to help Vicky find out about the Phoenix storyline. And there's the cemetery owner who's always, "No, don't disturb the dead." I didn't like him either. He was really annoying to me. All right, now back to Jason McGuire. I hated him. Then in the beginning, it was another actor that played Willie Loomis. He was scary. I mean, looked like he was about to rape Vicky and Carolyn. Like he could have raped them, and it's like he could have killed them or cut them, or he could have done horrible things to them. I guess that's what they wanted the audience to feel for them. Or so then when Jason forces Elizabeth to marry him, Carolyn starts getting really rebellious. She's already broken up with Joe Haskell at this point. She starts dating some loser biker boyfriend named Buzz. Buzz was annoying too. He was always, "Yeah, baby, it's just you and me. We're awesome. 2 against the world, baby." By the way, I hate that 2 against the world line. I mean, it was okay in Planet Terror, but it's really been overused lately, and just stop using it. Stop it. Okay. So, Willie Loomis is trying to get after, like, the jewels, the family jewels of the Collinses. So he sneaks into the Collins mausoleum, and he sees a chained coffin. He hears a heartbeat, and he opens the coffin. And finally, Barnabas Collins is unchained. Barnabas Unchained. Barnabas. The D is silent. Makes no sense. Yeah.